I'll take us through just a brief definition of what woo really is, and then what it looks like in a leader. The first thing we need to remember about woo is it's a verb. It is something that you do. When you think about woo, I think about charisma, about magnetism, about that ability to really quickly make people feel comfortable. Or if you think about it as standing for something, WOO, winning others over. Folks with high woo enjoy that challenge of quickly meeting people and bringing them from that realm of someone you don't know to someone you would call a friend. They tend to be drawn to other people. They want to learn names, to ask questions, to find some common area of interest so that you're no longer strangers. And that experience is energizing. I think I first read my StrengthsFinder report. I have woo in my top 5, and I read something about woo like there are no strangers, just friends you haven't yet met, and that brings with us not only the great skill and the great ability to break the ice quickly, but also I think a belief system that there's some connection, some commonality that you can make with everybody that leaves you mutually more comfortable. And I think it's a fantastic theme, especially when you think about how do leaders with woo use it to influence others. So it does fall in that influencing domain, which again, leaders who are strong in influencing know how to take charge, how to speak up, how to make sure that their team is heard. Think about it as being a real comfortable voice for other people. So let's talk about it as a leader. As an individual, woo is about building my network, but as a leader, woo is about expanding our influence, building expertise through a network of skills. Think about, I actually taught a team session earlier this week, and I was the only person in the room who had woo. And so I joined in on one of the conversations. I was doing a great guided exercise, a great activity where we all walked around and just asked folks, hey, we get to pick one of their top 5 and then ask them a specific question. And one of the questions was, how does pick a theme help you get things done? And everybody who came to talk to me wanted to know about my woo. It's a fun word to say. It's an easy thing, I think, to quickly get a caricature or a stereotype in your head. It's certainly fun to be curious about woo. And the nice thing about it is folks with woo will probably tell you about it. So everybody asked me every question about woo. And I almost struggled with that question of how does woo help me get things done? And then I realized it was because I feel like my greatest resource is this network or this community that I build. And it might be in many cases the theme that motivates me to do anything. It's that constant awareness that you have an effect on other people and it can be a positive one. It's also that awareness that there are people out there who you can bring into your network, who you can win over. And so you think about it as a leader, woo equips leaders with that ability not to have to know it all yourself, but to invest in people who can expand your realm of expertise. To think about maybe you're not the expert in everything, but you know where to go and you can quickly assemble this team of superheroes or point people in the right direction to answer any of their questions or address any challenges. As a leader, woo gives you magnetic attraction. It means that people tend to be attracted to your organization, attracted to your team, attracted to the spark that you create when you walk into a room. It also means that it attracts you to others. Folks with woo are constantly aware of people who they have yet to win over, people who maybe are a little bit tougher to crack, or people who they just haven't had exposure to yet. And that can attract you beyond the familiar. Think about that as a benefit of being able to notice new opportunities in business or for your team or even for your family or your community that other people might not even see, but also to quickly and excitedly pursue those new relationships and those new opportunities. It's about building comfort. Also, if you think within your organization, I don't want us to take away the idea that woo is just always flighty and on to the next relationship. Think about what woo provides for the people who count on it. So especially as a leader, think about if you're leading a community or a family or a team or an organization, you naturally make employees feel like they're at home. It's about that authentic social courage that can inspire the same in others. If people see that, hey, my leader is comfortable sitting down and, asking me what I did over the weekend or talking about that meal that they tried and failed, and they can just be that authentically normal and human, maybe I can do that too. I think in many ways, woo is about hospitality. It is about serving people by creating a sense of disarming comfort and creating that sense of authenticity. It's also about a sensitivity to the success of relationships. I don't know about you, Jim, and we'll talk to Rhonda here in a moment about this, but anytime I'm in a large group of people, especially if I'm leading a course, I tend to know who isn't quite on board with me. And it's almost like I've got this monitor of my impact and of my influence. And that can help me if I'm aware of that and if I think about that strategically, it really can help me understand how are we doing. If I translate that into a business context, it gives me this great intuition of how well we're connecting with our customers, how well we're delighting and engaging our suppliers, and how well we're really meeting the needs of our followers. It's also about a diversity of connections. I think because Woo is about social breadth, it creates this great diversity and inclusiveness because more in many ways is better. More connections feel better. The making of new connections is powerful. So it gives you this, and I stole this word by watching Kurt Liesfeld talk about it this morning on season 1. He uses the term social multiplicity. And that kind of ability to connect to a lot of different people, to a diverse audience of opinions or backgrounds might make other people uncomfortable, but it's something that you're drawn to, something that excites you. So step up to the plate and offer that as a talent. It's an energy creator in many ways. Now, Woo doesn't have to be loud. I think a lot of times Woo, it is most commonly paired with themes like communication. Very often it's paired with positivity. And in many ways, when it's paired with those, it looks overt. It looks bubbly. It looks loud. Woo doesn't have to be that way. Woo can also be the kid who shows up to every sporting event and knows every player's name and makes everybody comfortable when they're sitting there in the stands cheering on their team. It is that creator of energy. Think of how it feels when somebody knows you, when you feel truly seen by people. I think Woo gives you the ability to know and see others. Woo tends to assume a positive social connection. When you think about that phrase, there are no strangers, only friends you haven't met yet, there's an incredible hopefulness to that. And it's assuming that, yes, I am going to meet this person and we're going to hit it off. And I haven't thought about the fact that maybe we won't. I think that comes from the fact that folks with Woo like people. They genuinely like people. And therefore, they tend to be more likable. They tend to be able to pick up what's attractive and what's fun and what's unique about others. It's also, I think, thinking about how do you focus your Woo, looking at those other themes that it comes with. Ask yourself how you make people feel like they matter. How do you make people feel like they're a part of something? What is the best language or the best nuance or the best way to, I think, identify and personalize your approach to people so that you can very quickly help them feel seen, help them feel heard, help them feel connected. The last thing I want to talk about before I introduce our guest today is those needs of followers. So I spent a little bit of time going through our strengths-based leadership book, and I highly recommend that. Whether you have Woo or not, pick it up and look up your own themes. We do talk about these 4 needs across all 34 themes. Somebody with Woo might build trust by helping people feel seen, helping people feel important. That might come just simply by getting really great at remembering names or at knowing social details. You could build trust by understanding which social details are people more willing to share more quickly and ask about those. A leader might build compassion through Woo by demonstrating their love of people in general to show that you don't play favorites and to show that this is a constant talent of yours. It's consistent. It's not inauthentic. And that might mean fighting for what matters, thinking about social justice issues or helping elevate a cause that you believe in that demonstrates that at your soul, you really just do like people. A leader with Woo might create stability by helping people find stability in others. Again, back to that networking idea. You don't have to be the very best person at everything, but maybe you're the first person to connect to people who are going through a similar challenge. And finally, I love to talk about hope. A leader with Woo might build hope or inspire hope by talking about the social impact of what we can expect. So if you are inspiring a group to aggressively pursue a goal, Don't just talk about the goal, talk about how it's going to feel when we get there. Talk about how we're going to get there all together, or talk about what kind of an impact it's going to have on our community, on the rest of our team, and how it's going to help energize and inspire and help, again, help people be seen, be named, be a part of something. Pretty cool when you think about woo, not just as the life of the party, but really as an energizer that can help us get to some fantastic results.